If your garage or workshop looked anything like mine did, it's packed, it's cluttered, and it's impossible to keep organized. But fear not, because this simple cabinet is going to revolutionize your storage system. This project was designed to be an easy, low-stress build, utilizing mostly pocket holes, so it's perfect for you DIYers out there. Hi everyone, and welcome to the Pecos Aesthetic Woodshop. So here's what happened. My old cabinet started overflowing. Cans stacked on cans, finishes I forgot I even had, sandpaper all over the place, and every time I needed something, it turned into a 5-minute search mission. I finally admitted it. My garage was a disaster, and I needed some better storage. So I designed a cabinet that could actually accommodate my growing horde of finishes, paints, stains, sandpaper, and other miscellaneous items. It has deeper shelves, drawers for smaller items, a better layout, and space for future growth. I'm going to show you how I built it and give you some tips and tricks along the way. I have plans available for this cabinet, and I'm going to show you where you can get them at some point in this video as well. I went with sanded plywood because it's a cheaper option than cabinet grade plywood and still looks decent enough. Let's not kid ourselves.
You guys are kidding yourselves.
This is shop furniture, and it doesn't need to be beautiful. I'm first breaking down my 3/4 inch plywood for the cabinet carcass. I need the top and bottom, left and right sides, back, 3 drawer dividers, and the top of the drawers piece. I'm going to use my track saw to break all this down. The easiest way to do this is get a sheet of 4x8 insulation or OSB board, then lay your plywood directly on it on the floor and break it down. I forgot to pick up a sheet of OSB or insulation when I was at Lowe's, so I'm just doing it the hard way. Make sure you label your pieces when you're cutting multiple parts. I always label my pieces, but I still find ways to mix up my parts all the time. After I have all my 3/4 inch thick carcass pieces cut out, I'm going to take my bottom piece and the piece that will serve as the top of drawers piece and add dados to them. These are the only dados we're going to use in the project. Everything else will be pocket holes. The dados will serve to hold the drawer dividers and give the cabinet some extra strength. I'm going to show you 2 ways to cut these. First, you can use a dado jig, like the one I made for a video a few months ago. You can check out that video in the top right corner if you want to learn how to make and use one. This method will give you exact fitting dados, but it does take a bit to set up, and of course, you have to build the jig first. The second method, and the one I'll be using for this project, is to use a dado stack on your table saw. This has its advantages and drawbacks too, so just use whichever method works best for you. Now that my dados are cut, I can assemble the carcass of the cabinet. You can either attach the back to the 2 sides first, and then attach the top and bottom, or attach the top and bottom to the sides first, and then attach the back. Doesn't really matter. Add your pocket holes to the pieces first. When I first started woodworking, I started out with Craig's mini pocket hole jig because it was only 20 bucks, but I recently upgraded to this souped up pocket hole jig, and I gotta tell you, I wish I did it a long time ago. It is 99 bucks, but it's so much quicker to add pocket holes with this thing. You're going to want to put pocket holes on both sides of the back, then on the back border and sides of the top piece, the back border and sides of the bottom piece, and the back border and sides of the top of drawers piece. Make sure on this piece you're adding your pocket holes to the side with the dados cut in. Here's a tip. When you're assembling your carcass, use a spare piece of plywood or MDF or anything else that is flat for this step. It makes getting your pieces flush so much easier. After you have your carcass assembled, take your drawer dividers and slide them into the bottom dados. Now take your top of drawers piece and place it on top of the drawer dividers, dados down. Now take out your middle divider and add your screws in the pocket holes in the middle. It's definitely a tight fit, but I was able to get my drill in here pretty easily. Then put the middle divider back in. Take out the left divider, put in those screws, and then put that divider back in. Then repeat the step for the right side. Now add some countersunk screws to your dividers to secure them in place. If you're new to this channel, we usually give away some free plans for YouTube followers. This build's going to be no different. We're going to give away 25 free sets of plans. All you have to do is go to the comment section and comment DIY cabinet. If you're one of the first 25 to comment, I'll let you know, send you a discount code that you can then use on my website to get the free plans. If you don't get in that first 25, my apologies. If you're still interested in purchasing the plans, there's a link in the description and the plans go for 15 bucks. All right, moving on, it's time to put in the shelf pinholes. I wanted this to be useful to as many people as possible, and no matter how much we plan, things change. So I think it's a good idea to add these shelf pins so you can move shelves around when you need to. I picked up the Craig shelf pin jig for the project. It was 39 bucks on Amazon. A little bit pricey, but really gets the job done. I've never used one of these before, but I checked out a 3-minute YouTube video on how to use it, and I have to say, it's well designed and easy to use. To set the depth of cut, you just place the provided drill bit in the back of the jig, slide the collet on, and tighten. On the right side, we're going to add 3 columns of holes because the shelves are larger and need more support. On the left, we're doing only 2, but these shelves only span half the depth of the cabinet, so the holes will be placed further back. If you want to get the exact measurements for where to place the shelf pin holes, check out the plans. There's a link in the description. Here's a tip. You'll notice I'm putting in the shelf pin holes on the left and right side of the cabinet after I assembled the Carcass. This was a whoops because not only is it harder to put in the holes once the sides are installed, but I also can't get the holes in the back in the exact spot I want. So when you build yours, plan to drill all the shelf pin holes on the left and right side and middle divider before assembling the Carcass. We need the shelves at this point, so cut out your parts on sheet 2 of your 3/4 inch plywood. You should have 5 shelves on the left and 2 on the right. And keep in mind this plan is totally adaptable, so if you want more shelves on the left or right, make that change now.
Everyone and everything from getting into the North Pole, including snow. So, the elves...
Test fit the shelves to make sure you have a good fit. Then use your shelves as spacers to install the middle divider. Add your pocket holes first. For this piece, it doesn't matter what side you put your pocket holes on. Now take out 2 of your left shelves and add your slots for sandpaper dividers. If you want this feature in your cabinet, that is. I've seen so many people build something like this on YouTube, and it just looks so organized I had to get on the bandwagon. Gets me all excited. To make the slots for the sandpaper dividers, you don't need a dado stack or dado jig. You can just use your table saw. We need these to be 1/4 inch thick, and most table saw blades have a 1/8 inch thick kerf. The kerf is the thickness of the blade. So if you make one pass and then a second pass immediately next to it, you're going to have a 1/4 inch wide slot. The plans I made have 7 dividers, but you can add as many or as few as you want. We're going to do this trick again when we cut in some slots for the bottom of our drawers. It's time to assemble the drawers. The drawers are being made using 1/2 inch plywood, so grab your 2x4 sheet and cut out your parts. The bottoms are going to be 1/4 inch, so cut those parts out of your 1/4 inch plywood as well. With the 2x4 sheets, if your table saw has a big enough table, you can get away with cutting the 2x4 sheet on the table saw. If not, just bust out your track saw again. I'm not a huge fan of drawers. It never seems to go smooth for me, I'm hoping you all can relate to this, and I'm not the only one. It seems like no matter how much time I spend planning and then measuring, checking, rechecking, cutting, when I go to assemble things, they're still off in a number of spots, and I have to trim them down a bit, or sometimes even recut the pieces. Do you all experience that too? Be honest with me. Or do you plan it out, make your cuts, and everything assembles nicely? If you do, I'm jealous. That is all. The sides of the drawers will be covering the top and bottom parts, so you want to add your pocket holes to your top and bottom parts so they can screw into the sides. After that's done, go back to your table saw and add your slots for your bottom piece on one side of all 4 drawer pieces. Important tip for assembly: for the top and bottom pieces, put your slot on the opposite side you put your pocket holes. That way, your pocket holes will be oriented on the outside of the drawers, which makes putting in your screws when you get to that step way easier. I made the mistake of putting the slots on the same side, which meant when I was ready to assemble, my pocket holes were on the inside of the drawers, where I couldn't fit my drill. So I had to put all the screws in by hand, and it was a complete pain in the ass. Don't be like me. After your drawers are assembled, you can put them aside for now. It's time to tackle the face frame. For this, I picked up some Select Pine at a local Home Depot. Select Pine's a little bit more expensive, but it has no knots. I measured the exact thickness of my plywood with some thickness calipers, and then set my table saw to match that thickness. I then cut out 3 4x6" boards into strips at that thickness. These pieces will serve to be your face frame and trim on your door and drawer fronts. First, cut out all the trim pieces and set them aside. Make sure you label your pieces. Then take out your 2 doors and 4 drawer fronts. Line up some scrap trim pieces so you can get an exact measurement of what to cut. I like to do it this way. The other way is you can just go to the measurements I have in the plan and cut them to the measurements, whatever you prefer. Cut all your door and drawer trim and then add a 45-degree miter to them. Make sure you label the orientation of the miters while you're marking things out. If you don't, I 100% guarantee you're going to have some cut in the wrong direction and you're going to be frustrated. I'm using my miter saw to cut these miters. I'm hoping to build a miter jig attachment for my table saw sled in the future, maybe a future video topic. I think using the table saw will give you a cleaner and more accurate cut, but for right now I don't have one, so the miter saw will have to do. After your trim pieces are cut, attach them to the doors and drawers using wood glue and a brad nailer. The brad nailer is an 18 gauge nailer. You could use a finish nailer for this as well, which is 16 gauge, but using a finish nailer in anything under 3/4 inch makes me a little nervous because it tends to split the wood. Now add your face frame pieces to your cabinet using the same method, wood glue and brad nailer. The last thing we need to do is add drawer pulls, and door hinges. To maintain the theme of an easy, functional build, the drawers will not have drawer slides, but rather just pulls and will easily slide in and out of the drawer space. Now for the best part. Loading this baby up and having a clean, organized space with room for future growth. Priceless. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, check out this YouTube recommendation about another video I've made for your viewing pleasure.